Welcome to Practice, where I practice writing, talking, and thinking about all sorts of creative things. For this week's video, I will read to you my review of Kinds of Kindness by Yorgos Lanthimos. A link to the text lives in the description. Sadly, however, the movie is not available for free streaming, so there's no link for that below. Kinds of Kindness is split in three, with the same cast playing different roles. The first story takes us into the life of a man played by Jesse Plemons and his boss, who controls every facet of the man's life, from dinner menus to forced abortions.
I didn't pour you a vodka. I think a whiskey now would be much better.
Yes, right, a whiskey is much better.
So when the man disobeys an order, he is shunned from the boss's tight grip and given the opportunity to be completely free. But turns out all the man really wants is to be back in the warm and controlling embrace of his boss. The second story revolves around another man, still played by Jesse Plemons, whose missing wife has finally returned. But he is convinced it's a fake version of his wife and becomes obsessed with confirming his suspicions. And finally, the third story, and my personal favorite, is about cult members on the hunt for a very specific woman with a very specific skill set.
Can you imagine what the final test might be? Great.
So, did I like it?
I didn't want to tell you before because I didn't want to upset you, but I can tell you about it now.
Well, I really like Yorgos Lanthimos. In fact, The Lobster is one of my favorite movies, and when I saw Dogtooth, I was speechless, which for me is a very rare thing.
That's wonderful news.
There's something about the existential malaise, absurdity, and languid apathy in his films that feels like the most accurate depiction of humanity.
I'm hungry.
Oh, yes, my love. What can I make for you?
Kinds of Kindness was released on the heels of Poor Things, and in a way they are polar opposites. Instead of the overly lavish sets and worlds, it is the ultra-mundane and drab reality of municipal buildings and crap motels. Instead of a person coming into themselves and learning new things about the world, it's a group of people who are deeply entrenched in their ways, where even the tiniest of change is detrimental. And so, to me, this movie is very much alive in its deadness, and that is a very good thing.
And there's other things too, lots of things.
I think in all of his movies, he is trying to find the monster, asking questions like, what defines monstrous behavior, and are we all capable of being it? And in this movie, I think he's saying no one is kind for the sake of being kind, and that human relationships are always transactional. And so the conceit is, if someone is being kind to you, be very, very wary of them.
Thank you so much.
I also really enjoyed the soundtrack, especially the No composition, which was reminiscent of a Greek chorus commenting on the action, moralizing from afar. This movie, however, did make me wonder about Yorgos's relationship to sex. Is it a banal action, much like making breakfast? Is it gross? Is it awkward? In Lanthimos' world, it certainly is not sexy. So if that's the case, what's with all the gratuitous nudity? It really just seems to me that he wants to see hot women naked, and if so, that's pretty lame.
There's no point pressing on. Andrew, let's go.
Thank you very much, Anna.
So that's my review. Thanks so much for tuning in. As always, would love to hear your feedback about my take of this particular movie. Have you seen it? Are you going to see it? Why do you think it was released at around the same time as Poor Things? It seems really a polar opposite of his award-winning movie, Poor Things. Beyond that, love to hear what you think about the soundtrack as well. I absolutely loved it. And with that, thanks so much for tuning in, and I will see you on the next one.